What's going on, everyone? Thomas Jordan here for another episode. Today, we are joined by entrepreneur and business owner Paul Moody out of Knoxville, Tennessee. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Just a rainy Tuesday. So
Just rainy and humid.
yeah, we live in the South, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And to be more specific, you are a restaurant owner, which I'm super jealous. I have worked in the food industry before, but when I came across your profile on TikTok, you got all sorts of goodies, which we'll get to here in a second. But I'm always curious of where your passion for food started.
Well, it developed over time, but it started, and I've told this story more times than I can even imagine. Started when I was a kid. I wanted a car. Like, I just wanted a car, and there was a Sonic down the road, and my dad said, if you want a car, go get a job. And so I did. And then it just kept going. And then I ended up doing fine dining in college. And then, like most people, I don't use my bachelor's whatsoever now. And just pursued a dream and just went for it.
So it all started at Sonic?
I made hot dogs and fries and like tater tots and all that stuff. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. So, but at what point were you sitting there like behind the grill or whatever, behind the fryers, and you're just like, you realize, because, I think a lot of people would be like, oh man, you're just making burgers and fries or whatever. But did you feel something else while you were there where you're just like, was there just that little pull, if that makes sense?
Oh no, not whatsoever. When I was no.
Oh, you're like, I actually hated it.
Like, no, I just wanted a car. Like, that's really my whole goal there. But I just stayed in the food business. And when I was in college, I was just like, I love doing this, especially and at that point I was in a fine dining. I was at the Inn at Blackberry Farms, and I was there for a long time. And I just, I don't know. I just love it. I mean, there's nothing else you can say. And then I figured out that I could make money and a living doing that. And I was going to be a doctor of all things. That's what my career path was. And I would have been a decent physician, I think so. But I didn't love it. And luckily, my father saw that enough to sit me down before I got too far into it and go, hey, you're going to hate your life if you just keep going down this way. But, I grew up, and not to age myself, I'm 43. So it was right at the, when I was 16, 17, 18, it was right at the boom of like Food Network and food cooking shows and things like that. And I just fell in love with it. When you're watching it from outside, you're like, ooh, I want to be a celebrity chef on TV. And then you don't want to do that anymore. And then somehow I have come back to it in social media where I actually do that on video platforms now. So,
and with everything going on, like, I mean, there's so many platforms right now for business and things like that. There's YouTube, Instagram. I mean, it's all over the place. You have chosen TikTok, and that's where I came across you, which is hilarious. But I just remember, like, what out of all the platforms, why did you gravitate towards TikTok?
It's not that I really gravitated towards it. It was kind of just a stroke of luck. Stroke of luck. Yes, there you go. This is why I record over everything after I make the video, because I have to do it like 8 times. Anyways, but I don't know, TikTok was hot during COVID.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, let's just make some videos. And it originally started as like a family blog kind of thing. Like we were just kind of showing our family life and, what we do at home and everything. And I think, so my wife got coronavirus in October or November of 2020. And I had had a couple of videos go viral that were Disney and travel and kids and stuff like that. And I had about, I think 30 or 40,000 followers at that point. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to record myself cooking because that's what I do. And I did some sign language things and kind of went into whatever just to do stuff. And then once something popped off, I was like, all right, wait, I'd love to cook. This is what I do for a living. It all lines up and I'm bored at home. Really, that's how it started. I was bored at home. And, minimal investment into doing it. And I just recorded myself. I think it was a Chipotle, not a Chipotle, a Chipotle.
Depending on what part of the South you're in.
Well, yeah, I mispronounced it and actually did a video afterwards making fun of myself, which got just as many views as the actual recipe,
Yeah.
which you got to kind of be humble and say, hey, I make mistakes. But I just recorded it and did a time lapse of it and like got 1 million views on it, and then started doing more and more and more. And then it was actually my wife who said, hey, you may want to change the name of your channel because it's not really about the kids and us anymore. And she was like, and that's great. It didn't bother her. It's just, if you're going to do something, go at it. And then the famous bell pepper video happened. So I cut a bell pepper and I was just putting something up to put something up that day. That really was the thing. And Gary Vaynerchuk talks about viral videos a lot. He was like, people are trying to discover what is viral. Well, that's the whole basis of viral. There is no explanation. It just kind of pops off. So you just have to stay consistent. And the first night, I think it got 1.5 million.
Jeez.
I think we're sitting at like 26 or 27 million at this point right now. And it's slow, and like it's slowed down. Like, I mean, it's not getting a lot of views, but I mean, by the end of the week, it was at like 12 or 13. And I went from 40,000 followers to 200,000 followers in like 3 weeks.
That's insane.
And I just kept doing it. And, we originally had a food truck. So in the winter, even though we were back in action and everything, we just weren't that busy, so I just kept doing and recording and recording and recording, to where now I will say this, because my business life has taken off and gotten really busy. I've actually slacked on the video content production, which honestly has affected numbers. Like, so this is where we talk about, hey, you got to stay consistent. And that's actually something that I'm working on. Very much concentrating on at least posting something. And I think, people get wrapped up into, I have a light, but it's because I bought a ring light. People get wrapped up into equipment and what you need. I mean, I have my phone, and I'm not joking. I use my phone, Filmic Pro, which I paid the higher end for the $15 app. And
it's like 20, 15 or 20 bucks or something.
And then I got a video mic stand, like a bendable. And then I found it was actually at a camera store in town. So you can find them on Amazon, but where you can twist it into that. And now I have like, it's a one thing setup. Like I just move it around and I just film what we're cooking. Like, so today, and I'll just kind of give you a preview of what we're doing today. Like, I'm going to make braised beef cheek tacos, but it's going to take, 36 hours to make, because I've got to make tallow. So now I've got a video there. I've got a video of how to break down the cheeks. So if you do the long format and then just break it down little by little, you have plenty of content to do.
Yeah, we call that bulk recording or bulk shooting, whatever you want to call it.
See, I'm glad you know those terms because I don't.
Okay. It's interesting in that what you just said almost hit on like 3 different things that I talk about to my clients and in my programs and things like that. The first was going viral. I don't care what any company says. There's no, like, you just don't know. But it's so funny because every single person I talk to, as far as if a video pops off or not, it's always the least one you thought possible. Like, you're just, like you said, whether it's peppers or anything, like, you just turn on, you just shoot it and you're just like, whatever. And I don't know if it happened to you too, where it's like, oh, maybe I won't do this one, or it's something you second guess and you just chuck up. And that's the one that pops off. It is the weirdest thing. Yeah.
It was sitting there and I had just cleaned for the night. It was like 9:30 at night. And I was like, and I'm leaving, and I stopped at the exit, or, where we come. Oh, it was private. So I'm not disobeying any traffic laws. And I was like, oh, I'll just post this real quick, And I did, and it just went off. And, and I'm friends with a lot of the big creators, like like we have, I mean, to me, it's not big, right? But to most people, like to say, on all platforms, I have 300,000 followers. That's a huge deal. And TikTok alone is 255,000 of it. That's a huge following, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I talk to guys, I'm talking to guys with like 1.5 million and like 5 and like 12 million followers. And they're all super awesome. Like they're all super great guys, but they're like, look, you just stay consistent and you just post. And is it going to go off? Maybe. Is it not? Don't worry about it. And I talk to people, and I know that you do a little more than I do with social media. But when I talk to my kids or my friends or anything like that, I'm like, don't get wrapped up in the number. Like, just don't. Just get I think I heard somewhere where depth versus width. You might have one video that has 500,000 views, and you may have another one that has 10 views, but that one of those 10 is Oprah.
Yeah.
Like
because you never know who's watching,
right? So which is led to unbelievable things for us and business and things, but just post. I mean, it really is just post.
No, and you just hit another point on what I say. It's besides staying consistent, I try to tell people that to not get wrapped up in the numbers, because like you just said, you never know who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Also, being on the video side, working with clients and social media, and just on the influencer side and on the actual like celebrity side, it doesn't matter. Like you could have 1.5 million followers, but if they're not converting, it's like, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
So, even if they had, and I'm sure and I'm not saying these guys that but what I'm saying is like, let's just say you've got you got 1.5, but and you're in the food industry, but you can't get any of those traffic to your website. If you can't get them to come out to your food truck, then you're just, I don't know what, then you're just posted for fun, but it's just.
Yeah. And a couple of months ago, we actually took a big shift, and it was a large discussion. One of our investors is a verified PGA golfer, right? He plays on the tour, like he's sponsored big time, like he makes money in social media.
Is it Phil Mickelson?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Oh, no, it is not. And I'm wearing his hat. So
cool.
It's Scott Stallings. So,
okay.
But he's not known as now don't get me wrong. He's like in top 125, like he's good. Like he's really good. And he's one of the most humble, down to earth people you'll ever meet. But like he's known as the fittest golfer on the PGA Tour. That's what he's known as. Mm-hmm. So he's not, like if you look at his sponsor, it's like, it's Noble, like it's CrossFit. Like it's not
Titleist or
no, but they came out with a golf shoe because and they're selling them like crazy.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's like an athletic shoe that's got like a little grip on it for the course, but it's comfortable and everything. And I'm not a golfer, so I'll tell you that
I'm not either.
I don't, but I know, like, I like shoes that are comfortable.
True that.
And the good thing about that is and I look at an influencer like that is actually making large sums of money. And now I don't know his exact or anything like that, but I would assume like
he's doing well.
He's doing well, right? But he's so authentic.
Yeah,
it is who he is, off and on, no matter what. We're fortunate enough to be surrounded by some professional athletes like that live on our road. Like it's crazy, and we don't live in like a super expensive area of town or anything like that. It's just, we have land, so people like to move out. And you just, when you meet them, you're like, man, you guys are so down to earth. Like this is who you are. Mm. And it's good to see that. For us on the big shift and back to it is there's not a huge desire to be an influencer in this aspect for us. Like I'm not looking for contracts. I'm not looking to get sponsored. They come and we look at them, and if they line up with what we want, we go for it. And if they don't, we're like, hey, thanks. We appreciate it. Thanks for your free whatever. Because they send you products all the time. Like we've got more products than I know what to do with. But the two things on that is one, we're opening food hall locations, and we've got several of them opening with our burger concept, right? Which is called Smash. So it's Smash in whatever city. So Smash Knoxville, Smash Omaha, and Smash Houston are coming. And we have Smash Food Truck. We looked at it as a $5,000 commercial. That's how we do. That's what we look at our social media as. So there's other ways to get monetization out of social media besides just having companies pay you, because we are like, all right, we need to advertise for our business. We don't necessarily have the funds to say, hey, I can do a $5,000, commercial that's posted unless you have this. And I mean, like if you're watching TV, when a commercial comes on, if anybody watches regular TV anymore, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV, but like when the commercial comes on, everybody's looking at their phone during the commercial break. They're not
watching TV,
the commercials that are on
or they're
TV
fast forwarding through it.
Right. And then the second way was, the second thing about what to do with it was just to keep having fun with it, just to be able to reach out to the brands that we use anyways. Like Simpson's Meat is our meat purveyor. We buy more cows from them than I can ever count. But like the beef cheeks that we're doing, well, he's like, hey, how can I sell more meat, like more product, right? And I'm like, just give me those. Like, so we do exchanges like that, but to say we're trying to get a lot, there's just different routes to use social media, I think. So don't get caught up in the trying to get a big time company to pay you to do it when really it's the mid-level guys that you're looking at anyways. The guys that aren't super small and the guys that aren't super huge. Well, the super small can't afford you, and the super huge, well, they're doing the Super Bowl commercials and they're doing everything else. But it's those guys that are middle of the road, especially if you have a lot of traction in your local area that you're going to get, those things. And I'm not trying to go sideways or anything else on you. And I mean,
no, dude, you're hitting all the points because you're also saying, like, I don't think, because just an influencer culture in general, I notice people are like, oh, we want these brand deals. And it's like, I don't think people understand, like, also there's just a lot more into it than people think. One, now it's like, okay, you want to become an influencer, right? But even if you do, you get these brands that you work with. Let's just say you landed a big brand. Now they're your boss. Like, so it's like you've got to go through legal. You've got to go, especially if it's a bigger brand. Local stuff is, the smart way to go, I think. Mm-hmm. But even with like the bigger brands, like let's just say Titleist or Nike reaches out, now you're under their thumb. And it's like, right. Revisions of stuff, like the stuff that's fun to you could become not so fun because you've done like this pepper chopping video 6 times and 6 revisions. Oh, you can't say that and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm glad you touched on that as well, because it shows, like, it just proves my point. It's like, try to figure out, either you're working with local stuff, you have merch, or drive people to your food trucks or your restaurants. Like, there's just different ways to monetize than, oh my God, we need this brand deal today.
Yeah. The only other thing I'd actually say, and when it comes to, we don't love money, but we like it a lot. So yeah. I will say that, but is get paid up front. That's all I can say is get paid up front. like get paid
security
up front.
Deposit, please.
Yeah, no. And also know what it's worth, do the research on what it is. I mean, the reason I can say it's a $5,000 commercial because I know exactly how much it is. Like, I know the going rate, and you'll get people that will try to lowball you. Right. And that might just be what they can do. And that's understandable. But if you say yes to it, you just have to be agreeable to that. I had a friend that was a pastry chef in New York, and she wanted to make high dollar wedding cakes. That was her goal. I want to make expensive wedding cakes. And I was like, okay. But then she was like, I need to take this $300 cake because I got to get my name out there. And I was like, whoa. I was like, hey, I need you to understand something. The moment you start doing that, you get known as the $300 cake girl. You don't get known as the high dollar, super expensive, like elite thing. And that's what she wanted to do. Now, if you want to make $300 wedding cakes, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, just know who you are, right? I think she does like 1 cake a week now, and she's booked for like the next year and a half. Like, yeah.
How much does a cake cost? How much does the high-end cake cost?
I think they start at like
100,000.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that. So
but I mean, she did like really smart things, like where she makes 2 cakes.
Yeah. Right?
So if she has an insurance one, they're exactly the same. So if one like spills, and she actually had one spill, and then she was like, and they were like, oh no. And she's like, don't worry about it. I got another one, brought it in, all that. But no, she does 1 cake a week. That's it. That's all she does. That's it.
Whoa. See, I was thinking 1,500 was a lot, but I mean, because I worked in the wedding business for a little bit on the video side, and I know, I mean, we had the companies that I worked for. I mean, the packages for video started at 10 grand. So I didn't know. I don't know how expensive the food is. I didn't know cakes went up to 15,000.
Well,
that's new to me.
We start at 10. Like start at 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must be a damn good cake.
Well, I'm not a cake guy. I'm slinging burgers, bro.
Yeah, you're like, I got these tacos.
Yeah, no, but so and you know, part of the reason on that is one, you know what you're worth, right?
Yeah.
But the second reason is make sure it's worth it. You know, like if I mean, that's the other thing. Like I did some stuff for some product in the very beginning, just because I was like, hey, this is fun. I'm getting some free stuff, whatever. And then it's like you're getting emails like, hey, when are you doing whatsoever? And I'm like, bro, you sent me like $20 worth of something. Like chill, right? But the thing is you've said you'd do it. So, and these guys, they all talk. Like they all talk. They know who's going to produce and who's not, and all of that. And it's okay to not do something. It's okay to say, hey, it's not for me. Somebody tried to send me, can't remember what it was. It was like a pot rack thing. Yeah. Right. And I'm like, they sent it to me and they're like, okay, we'd like a video. And I'm like, I didn't agree to anything. Like, thanks for sending it to me. We didn't even use it personally. If you want it back, I'm more than happy to ship it back to you. Like if you were confused in any way, shape or form, but I didn't A, say it, and I B, definitely didn't sign anything. But if you do, you just have to be in it, and then the other thing, like influencer wise, that you have to look at is like, we've been contacted by like television shows and things like that too. But this was before we popped off big. Like this is like when we had like 6,000 and 8,000 followers. Like it's not like people will see you, I mean, all the time, if you're scrolling and I'm super into TikTok. I will tell you that right now. It's kind of fun being more popular than my kid is in high school. I'll just tell you that.
You got a little bit of clout sitting around. I think just checked that you're at almost like 260 now, or like 256.
Yeah, we're almost at 260. We're getting really close. But she's like, people know who you are. Like, and I'll say this. I know. Yeah. But on a family side, anybody that's listening that has a family or anything like that, you also have to be understanding that takes effect as well. Because I just asked her, I was like, do you want me to delete it? Because I will. Like, I'll get rid of it right now if it causes any kind of harm in your life. And she's like, nah, it's pretty cool. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, let's roll with it.
Yeah, she's got off your clout. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all good, and just, we talk about social media a lot, and I talk about it a lot with judging yourself and like comparing yourself. Like, these are everybody's highlight reels. Trust me, man. Like, if you look at our food, it looks fantastic. Like, we do really good stuff and everything like that. Right. I think last night we had sandwiches and leftovers for dinner. So know that it is reality, but it's not always reality. Like, I'm not like making fine dining meals every single night at our house. And yeah, but I will say this, get back to the entrepreneur land just really quickly. We did a burger video, and it was just me like cooking onions, and it was handheld. And again, going into all this video production, it was handheld while I was doing stuff. And then, I was putting buns on the grill and then doing whatever. But I went into this long spiel about how I'm going to, people told me not to be a burger flipper, but it looks like what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. right?
Yeah.
And it like went crazy. Like people like engaged with it. They were like, "Oh, this is awesome," and you get your haters,
Of
right? You get
course.
your haters, but you just don't have to like don't care either way, and you'll be fine. Like if they're praising you up and pepping you up and all that, that's great. Don't get too big of a head. And if they're like, "Oh, you're trash," I mean, I think of the like 500,000 comments on that pepper video, at least 400,000 are negative.
Well, the thing is, what also people don't realize, like haters are also, it's still hitting the algorithm. So they're
Yeah.
commenting like, okay,
Oh,
they say you suck, or oh, your food sucks, or pepper this, pepper that. It's like, dude, you're helping that video.
oh
Keep
yeah.
them coming.
Yeah. I mean, I made like $4,000 off that video. Like I'm good with it. Like, you can like go ahead, pay me,
Yeah.
and then the other funny thing is, and it's not really funny, but then somebody like pirated the video and posted it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You got to
YouTube,
deal with the IP issues.
it got 18.7 million on YouTube.
What?
Right. So again, yeah. So then now my attorney's involved because it's like
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
paid for
Yeah.
something, So you have to be willing for all these headaches to happen as well. Now, on the other hand, yeah, sure, go get it. Like I'm not doing anything. Like thanks for posting it on the internet. I appreciate it. Like we haven't dove into YouTube really heavy yet. I've got some friends that have invested quite a bit of capital into video production, and I'm just sitting back going, I'm not a videographer, man. Like this, for me to buy an $8,000 camera is the same thing for somebody who doesn't cook professionally to go buy a $3,000 knife. Like it does not make any sense, right? And and again, I've talked to some big time guys, and some filmmakers. That we got a couple of filmmakers that go to church with us, and they're like, I mean, like they go around the world like to film, and I'm like, hey, what do I need to do to get better? And they're like, nothing. Like, don't buy any equipment, don't do
Yes.
anything. You don't, in a day and age where you have a phone that is more powerful than the computer in 1992 that the president used to run the United States with, you do not. And I go in and I will say that a lot, like, don't waste your money. Like, but now you've got to put time in, like, and you do. So, but, as using it as a commercial, that's exactly what we do now. Like I'm doing it for fun and I'm doing it to say, this is where we're going. We've hired a couple of people off of one, just saying, hey, we're hiring. If you're in the area, come and see us. We had people drive from hundreds of miles away to come to our opening just because they like us. And, as long as it's not, against my moral fabric, I respond to almost every comment that I can get to. I definitely like everything. I definitely, do whatever. But I mean, if you're a troll and if somebody trolls you, like we go and look at your profile. Like I just need you to know that. Like we go scan you. And a lot of times I'm like, because as much as I say, don't let it affect you, it kind of affects you. But I go and I look at it. And then when I'm like, all right, you have no followers, you're following 6,000 people and you've posted nothing. Okay.
A lot of them don't even have a profile picture. But dude, that's the thing. You just open yourself up to it a little bit, but like you said, you're human, so it's gonna sting a little. But even when people like pirate your stuff, like on YouTube, the I'm a glass half full kind of guy, that's free advertising. Like you may
Oh
have
yeah.
missed out on some like YouTube AdSense, but I always say YouTube AdSense is called AdSense for a reason. It's sense, like,
Sense.
right?
Yeah.
So and that's good that you get, I think what you're doing, I would have gotten an attorney involved in as well. Cause like I said, they stole your IP, whatever, but like it's free advertising for you. And
Yeah.
the fact that, you have the opportunity to like, you're already doing so well and you're just using your phone. Like I
Mhm.
just made a video. It's like, just use your phone. And what a lot of people don't think about too, it's your story too, right? Like I
Mhm.
know you're just going to keep rising, but it's like ride it out. If you can get by with just your phone,
Oh yeah.
like do it. Just do it, because at some point, you're gonna like you might not even need to get the equipment. You can get a production company behind you
Right.
so they do all that stuff, right? Or
Right.
maybe you have that production company, you sell phones only, and that can be your shtick. But then when people are like, well, Paul, it's easy for you to say because you have all this team. It's like, no, for 5, 10 years, I was using this and no tripod. So it adds
Right.
to your story and just keeps things insanely simple.
Yeah. So we have this, well, I have this crazy idea and we're trying to work it out. And it's a health department thing that we're trying to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Where all I do is it's a mount with, I'm either going to get a cell phone or another cell phone, or probably just go get an iPod Touch. Really, that's really like the camera's good enough. Like,
Yeah.
but it's just an above the view of the
Mm-hmm.
line of us just building burgers and run it live the
That's
whole
awesome.
day. Just the whole day, we just run it live. Like if somebody's on, they can respond to comments. If they're not, like, but just all day. Have you seen the guy that his family owns the Subway?
No.
He wears a GoPro on his head. That's
I've
all he
seen
does.
something like that with the
Yeah.
guy who does it for Cold Stone. There's a Cold
Yeah.
Stone guy who does
Yeah.
it.
Well, there's a Subway guy, and I'm sure I'm sure people have like caught on and
Yeah.
followed trends and things like that. But guys that got like 8 million followers, like, like he's making legitimate income from this,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And he started it because his parents on a Subway, and in the pandemic, their sales were down. And he was like, I just want to show the behind the scenes of what goes on at a Subway. That's
Yeah.
really all it is. There is no, and it is the worst video production I've ever seen. Like it's shaky, you move around,
Cell phone, it's probably vertical. Like,
but he's like, this is how you make like a meatball sub. This person ordered a meatball with this. This is how we do it. This is the portions, and it's a minute long. And he cuts off and he goes on about his day. And I'm like, that's genius.
mm-hmm.
Like, but and you know, again, he's just consistent. He's just consistent. And so I got a friend of mine, Wood Fire and Whiskey, Marco.
Oh, I follow him. I follow him.
He's great. Like we talk on the phone, like we have conversations, like all that. Well, he is flat out. He owns a video production company. That's what he does. He owns a video production company. He just likes to cook. And he's like, I'm not a chef. I'm a really good home cook. And I think he's a lot better than he's giving himself credit for, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen his TikToks and stuff. I really like his stuff.
But he's like, you know, he's like, I set these three up. But he knows what he's doing. I, on the other hand, have no clue. Like, I know where to position it. So like, and I reached out to him for advice, and he went through all the ones that I went through and did. And his response to me was, the ones that are the most popular are the ones you put the least effort into. He was like, they're the most authentic ones. They're the ones that you actually know. I call it my studio. It's my closet where I go to record everything.
Yeah.
Many people may not know this, but we have 7 kids. So like, and we live in a 1,700 square foot house, like with one bathroom, like it's madness. They're all at school right now. So like, that's why it's calm, but that's why it started off as family, by the way.
Okay.
How do you do
no,
it?
I knew that. I didn't realize it was 7. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, well, we're blended family. We each came with 3, and then vasectomies don't always work. So,
and it's like, well, now you've got line cooks and
there's actually a
shoe
TikTok to
sets.
that. Yeah, but I mean, even to the food thing, like I love the McRib. As weird as that sounds, I love the McRib. So I did a video of like saying it's back in October. And again, this is before we went crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, it's back. It's, and then like when it like did like several videos about a McRib, and then made my own McRib. Right. Well, I think I'm one of like 85 people that McDonald's follows. Like McDonald's follows us. Right.
Huh.
Yeah, like
That goes
wants to
back to
use
what we were talking
yeah.
about. It's like you never know who's following, and even out of the
So
200, it's like
yeah, so
McDonald's.
they want to use our video next year, and I'm like, absolutely. You don't even have to pay me. Like, you can just use the video. I'm good with it. Like the San Francisco 49ers have reached out. So because yeah, like I mean, like, hey, can we have permission to use your video? We'll use it as, we'll tag you in it and all that other stuff. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, so there are ones, like that you just say yes to. Like, you don't need to pay me money. But like
Maybe on
Cali's
the second round, you know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
McDonald's,
But
like, hey, like, what's your budget for this
yeah,
project?
yeah. But like Cali's Little Biscuits, because you're in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cali's Little Biscuit Company, and they're in Atlanta, right? They sent me some biscuit mix and all that, and we worked out a deal. It was a one-page deal. It was a one-page, one video deal. And I actually did gluten-free biscuits and not the gluten-full biscuits, but I'm sitting on another thing, and this is more for people that pay people right now. Like, I'm sitting on more biscuit mix right now, and I'm like, man, I'm probably just gonna make some biscuits just to give them a shout out, right? And just because I like them. Like, if you've seen the Pizza Babka one that I did you see that one?
Yeah.
Like the rolling pin that I talk about. So that was my friend, and during pandemic he got furloughed, right? So he started making wood, like he started making stuff. Now I bought it from him because I didn't want him to give it to me, but I was like, hey, you care if I throw your Etsy shop up? Right? I threw his Etsy shop up, and then he calls me like 10 days later. He's like, dude, take it down. He's like, I can't keep up. Like, I can't keep up. Yeah, I think he sold like
Take it
12,000.
down.
He sold like 12,000 rolling pins.
Holy
Right.
smokes.
So that's great. And those are the things that I actually got out of it the most, because, okay, I didn't make any money off that, right? But my friend who got furloughed, whose wife is a teacher teaching virtual school during all this craziness, and they have like 2 kids and all that. Cool. I got to help them out a little bit. Like, like that's where the like joy in it comes. Oh yeah. And they're like $125 rolling pins. They are not inexpensive. Yeah. They're like olive wood. They're like beautiful. Like, it came with a biscuit cutter. Yeah. Like, he turns them like, and it's great. Like, and then he gave me a bowl because I'm trying to eat healthier. Oh, notice I said trying, not successfully doing it, but trying to eat healthier. But I was going to do like this salad trend. Like, I was going to make salads and everything, because there's a girl on there that all she does is make salads. That she makes 1 salad a day. That's all she does, is make salads. And I don't think she's a big account, but it's cool. And that's what you got to do. You just got to find, and because people you're not going to make money right now. Like, you're just not going to make money in the beginning. So you better love it, and then love it enough for when it becomes a job that you still want to go to it. Like, I like sports betting. I don't bet on sports, but I like listening to what people think about, and like
How
what
they
they're
analyze
analyzing and all that stuff. Right. There's a dude on there. His name's Willie Betts. Right. I think he's got like 1,000 followers or something, but man, that guy is like on it like every day. Like, this is what I'm betting on. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Like, all that. And I'm like, man. And then he shows his results. Like say college football. He shows his results. He's like, I had a really good week this week. Next week, I'm probably not, but I had a really good week this week, So, but if you watch him, I think at the end of the year, I think he ended up winning like 70% of his bets or something like that.
Dang.
Like, he did like a breakdown and analysis and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, but I think Gary Vaynerchuk, and I love Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah,
So
I'm a huge Gary Vee fan.
But he's like, look, you can make 50 grand a year talking about the Smurfs, like, but it's like, what are you into? Like, what's your thing? Right. We're protective of our children with social media, and I'll say that, but like, and not because she's my kid, but one of my kids got pipes. Like, girl can sing like nobody's business, and we've kind of held back on her, but we let her do Instagram, right? So she's actually thinking about doing the Instagram, like whatever, like just singing on reels, nothing else, right? And and I don't think, and the reason she hasn't done it yet is because she's not prepared. She's not prepared for the hate that's coming. The "you suck. Why are you doing this?"
What if you guys just manage the account and she's not like allowed to look?
So we've talked about that, but she has said, I know that I'll go look. Like she'll go on her own and go, and it's not that we're trying to guard her from that. It's just that you have to know who you are as a person. Like you can say whatever you want to about me. I'm going to be like, whatever. I don't care. Like me, hate me. It doesn't matter. Like I'm doing my thing. Like no one's ever talked trash about somebody that was not doing as successful as they are. They only talk about the people that are above them that they're trying to catch, and I wholeheartedly believe that. It's just when you are a 15-year-old impressionable girl, that is when you go, hey, don't do that. So, and so maybe in another year or so, and she said, hey, let's approach it later. And, whatever. I mean, she's doing good other routes and things like that. We have Knoxville is actually a pretty big music scene. I don't know if.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure, but I know Nashville's not too far. So I can't. Yeah.
It's not all that. So
that's what I hear, actually.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not Nashville, but it is. Knoxville's big.
Yeah.
Also, where a lot of restaurants start, just letting you know.
Well, dude, that's how I find you, to go back to like the Biscuits. I was like, I still don't know how we get, like, how you popped up on my For You page, but I was just like, this dude, because like I love cooking, but for myself, I love more eating. Like my secret side project is always to be like a travel food host. Like I would love to just like go around and just taste food for days or whatever. But when I saw it, because I get kind of or just technical with my stuff, like any meat that I use like the thermometers and stuff, and I saw you're using the thermometer for the biscuits. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, because bread is done when it's at 190 degrees. So and that's a thing, like that really is a thing. Like that's something I was taught. You should have seen, did you go through the comments about temping bread?
I think it was so long ago.
There are at least 25, 30 comments of if you're checking your temperature on your bread, you don't know how to bake. Like at least 25, 30 comments. Okay. At least.
But it's like you're selling out of these biscuits like on a daily basis. It's like, yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm doing.
Sure. 144 layer biscuits. You're right. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're correct. And the funny thing is I learned how to make bread from, at the time, there were only 54 of them. I'm sure there's more now, but she was a certified master baker is what she was called. And I'm like what she learned how to bake bread in like a wood burning oven when she was a kid. Like I've never seen anybody bake bread like this woman ever in my life. And it's the only reason I can bake bread is her. So
that is crazy. And
sorry, dude, I know we've rambled. So
no. The thing is, we have, but it all like ties into each other. Whether it's the video production thing or even with the guy with the rolling pins, that's like the whole point, and that's why I have gone from. That's why I rebranded the podcast name to The Power of Video, because just on our conversation alone, guy sold out of $125 rolling pins. You've got commercial, or you're basically making mini commercials to drive traffic to your business. You're monetizing that way. You've got, sponsors and, TV shows reaching out to you. It's just, that is the power of video. And
And it is, and it's something about like Knoxville. We talk about Knoxville just for a second, but like Discovery is headquartered here, right? Which used to be Scripps Network, which is Food Network, which is Cooking Channel, which is all these things. And, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I have this impression that, they start with social media, like they get you local and then expand you out kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But the amount of people that have recognized us that actually work at Food Network is unbelievable. Right. And, like they're filming Chopped and Cutthroat Kitchen here and like a grilling show, like they're starting to move all their studios to Knoxville. Right. I'm like, shoot, discover me, baby. Like I don't have to fly anywhere. Like, I'm
right up the road, man. I'll meet you there.
Legitimately 6.5 miles away is where they film everything. Like I pass it. It's on the interstate.
You should put the food truck right there, man. Just I didn't know you guys were here.
So they've actually come to the truck So because where our truck is, we're permanently with a brewery, and it's a mile and a half from the network. Which again, but it goes to show like what the power is, right? And these, especially right now, these big time companies, like Scripps and Food Network and TLC and all that, right? And TLC is not here, but they do Top Chef and everything. With everything going on, with the COVID restrictions, with the cautiousness and everything, they're not really willing to travel people right now. So if you are in Knoxville, Atlanta, Nashville, Chattanooga, like around the area, they're like, yes, please, because you're a 2.5 hour drive away. Because you drive up, you stay in a hotel, and then you film, and then you go home, right? And it's just you never know who's watching, and it goes on both sides. Like, watch what you say on social media, because you never know who's watching. like as a business owner, like, and I never talk about politics, and I really don't. I won't. I stay away from the subject in all way, shape, or form. I have no opinion, and that is my standard line. Is I have no opinion, because in anything controversial, once you say something, you're done. Like, you're done. Like, you and it even goes to show, like, let's say somebody's listening that has 100 followers. Watch what you say on social media. Because when you have 100,000, they're going to go back to see what you said when you had 100. They're going to check how authentic you are. They're going to see if you're really the person you act like you are.
Yep.
And if you're not, like, you're done. Like, I mean, you've gone through my Instagram, you've gone through TikTok, you've gone through all of it. Like, it's consistent. I'm the same person, right? I think I just learned how to speak a little better. And that
comes in time. But dude, it's all about storytelling too, and like, even with what you said, and like, I feel like saying controversial stuff is like low hanging fruit. Like, anybody can say something off the wall, right? But like, kind of like to your point, where it's like, if you want to play the long game, you've got to really watch it. Because even with Kevin Hart, they went back and tagged him for something he did 10 years ago.
12 years previous. Yeah.
And it's just so, and with the politics thing, I stay away from it too, because it's just low hanging fruit. And there's so many, like, you're a food channel, or you do food, you do family type stuff. I do more like tech, YouTube, interview podcast stuff. It's just like, I stay in my lane. And it's just, there's so many other outlets dedicated to that. And if it's like if you're interested in that, go to that. Like, I am, like, that's what entertainment, and that's like is, right? It's like, you come to me to get that break from all the other stuff that's going on social media, whether it's politics, really, like anything controversial. It's like, come here, we're just going to be cool, we're going to cook food, we're going to talk, and that's going to be it.
I do like on TikTok where you will get stuck in a lane though. Like, you get stuck on like I think I got on like woodworking, like, because I watched one video and then liked it, and then but I got stuck on
dude, I'm trapped in
make furniture. I'm like, dude,
I'm trapped in gotcha TikTok, where these people will it's controversial stuff, but like, people will make a claim, right? And they'll stitch the video, and then they will like research the person, and they're like, this person says they're a doctor, they're not, this is where they work, this is what they do. It's like gotcha TikTok, right? And I'm like somehow in there, because I'm just like, oh man, these people just got busted, right?
And then my favorite one out there of anything is the Ross School of Business guy that is a potato. Have you seen that one? Doing a Zoom thing as a potato. He's doing a Zoom class, like a master's accounting class, as a potato.
Oh man, you'll have to send that to me or whatever.
I will. But the last thing I'll actually say about the social is, there are consumers and there are producers. Like, make your stuff, put it on there, turn off your notifications, and don't let it consume your whole life. Like, I don't mean it like, don't look at it and like, because I myself will sit on the couch and scroll through it, but you only have 24 hours in a day. And I appreciate it, because you're watching my stuff and I'm good with it, but like go make some so I can watch some. That's pretty much where I'm at. So
Yeah, create more than you consume, because as you know, with TikTok, I mean, you're any social media, what, scrolling 3 second, 5 second, 10 second climbing, now they're longer, but that'll turn into 4 hours before you can blink.
oh yeah. And the cool thing about TikTok is they actually, if you're a high level creator, like once you get up to that level, they start sending like what they're doing. Like I've been able to do 3-minute videos for like 6 months now.
Cool.
And I don't because it doesn't fit into what we've been doing, but I have been able to like bring on people on lives and things like that. So, I mean, there is a reason to keep doing the content. If you go viral, you go viral. But if you stay consistent, those rewards that you're looking for, even if they're non-monetary, are out there and they'll come. So.
Yeah. And we'll wrap it up with this, and you kind of covered it a little bit, but besides being like staying consistent and things like that, and like just, keeping it simple when it comes to video for somebody who's just starting, whether, they want to start a business or they are that startup entrepreneur and they want to bring the power of video to their brand or their business, what would you say is your one piece of advice that goes a little bit deeper than staying consistent and use what you have?
Being authentic and don't sugarcoat what it is. Just do it. Like it's okay. Again, coming from fine dining world where I made 13 course meals and everything had whatever, the burger is so simple, but it's so interesting all at the same time. You can dive into the specifics and the detail of something that you just love and are passionate about, especially if it's simple. So that's it. Just keep it simple.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Where can we find you online so we can see all your business ventures and all the burgers and pizza and biscuits and all that good stuff?
So Instagram and TikTok are Moody Family Cook, or I'm sorry, Moody Foods Incorporated, INC. And then currently the only website is smashknoxville.com. But if you go to any of those, you will find us. If you go to Moody Foods Incorporated on either social and on either of those two social medias, Instagram or TikTok, you'll be able to find us everywhere else.
Awesome, man. I'll put all the links down below.
All right. Awesome, man. Thanks, bro.
Awesome.